The only broadcast booth that actually brings a member from the opposing organ to the booth this time. I am your host tonight, Andrew Christ, and apparently I'm joined by Tank from some Shuriken eSports org or something like that.
Yeah, we're just some small org who has a bunch of titles and stuff like that. You may have heard of us, but it is what it is. We're here. Super excited to be here. You're one of the few people that I will co-cast with because it's always a very enjoyable time.
Okay, well,
thank you for having me here.
Oh, as always, I'm glad you feel that way about me. Yeah. So aside from us, BSing the entire night, we might actually have a match. That should be these knuckleheads. The Red Bulls, they're representing Best Buds Club, and inexplicably they're sitting at 4-0, and they will be taking on Shuriken's East squad, who's sitting on 2-1. This is a matchup in the Open Division, and well, this is gonna be a battle. I just saw the roster, that's why.
I'm really surprised with nothing against Dilly and them, but I know they made the good run in playoffs in Tier 2, but their regular season wasn't the strongest. And so I know a lot of them were our fringe Tier 1 players. And so I've been really surprised with the work that they've been putting in here over this circuit. I mean, to start 4-0 in the toughest tier in IGL is really impressive.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. They've actually decided to put the work in. Everyone who's tuned in has known, and I mean even Tank's familiar probably at this point, how badly I basically ride Dilly's squad. And I think a lot of it is actually deserved. Like, again, not to rub salt in the wound, but the only reason why they beat, Shuriken, God, I forgot the squad. In the 1 vs 16, Shinobi. God, thank you. I'm so bad at this. The only reason why they beat Shinobi in is because suddenly it's like, oh, wait a minute. It's like playoffs and, we got to try now. Which is infuriating to say the least, but it's also just like, they finally got up, and even then they kind of like started sleepwalking later in the playoffs because it's like, oh, wait a minute, we're dreaming about winning the Tournament of Champions, so like, yeah. I think finally now that they have a carrot to chase it once again, in part they've definitely been putting the work in. But I mean, also, like, still you have to show up and you have to perform. I think one of the wins is a forfeit, but even then, still 3-0.
Still counts.
Yeah, that still counts. And
yeah,
I was just.
I mean, they have 44 goals through 4 matches. That's impressive. Like, those are impressive numbers for Tier 1. So through 3, they have 41.
Yeah.
You only get 3 goals for the forfeit win. Like, those aren't numbers to just scoff at. Like, they're actually putting in the work on the matches they're able to play.
Agreed. And
but the flip side of that, to play devil's advocate, because I love my boys, they have pretty much a new roster with, Legendary Jay stepped back as captain, so he hasn't really played much. Sarge and Moxie have been playing a lot, and then they added Cake Man, who's new to Shuriken and the team. So week 1 was a really rough start, and then they started to get it turned around here, and that's having a couple players that don't play a ton. Chicken played, I think, the first match with Moxie and Sarge, I believe is how it went, and it just wasn't clicking. Or maybe it was Cake Man and Chicken and Sarge playing the first game. And so they switched over to a new roster, and it seems to have been working pretty effectively for them. And the big thing is Sarge and Moxie played 2s together as well. They're part of Shuriken, who had their match earlier, won 3-1, move on to 4-0. in tier 1, so they have a lot of that chemistry built there. But finding a strong third, you know how it goes, Andrew. Like, to find a strong third you can play with is almost a nightmare. And I think they might have been able to find it here with Cakeman.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, I think I'm the sort of person just never dismisses a squad, no matter where they're at. It's kind of like you have to prove it right in front of my face, to say that you're terrible. And like you basically just like describe growing pains for a squad. It's like, kind of little, unsettled coming into the season and just looking to, figure out the roster. But, as you say, if they're finding it right now, that's amazing because, I could tell you when trying to figure out a roster, my sorry but sometimes can't figure out until week 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So, I can appreciate the struggles and again, but if you've if they found something, that's speaking as a neutral, that's really good for the squad because it just means they're so set up, and it's just a matter of putting the time and getting the practice in just so that you're fully comfortable. So
yeah.
And
I'm excited for this one. I've been looking forward to this one all week. As soon as Sarge told me that they got a bye-week match, I was like, yes, finally we get to see a BBC Shuriken matchup for once this circuit. Like it's been ridiculous. You can't keep us apart like this.
Well, I mean, IGL threw 3 of our tier 1 or tier 2 teams in the division, so like
of course.
I told you every time that division plays, I always put in BBC division.
Is Dilly making this lobby?
Let's see. Who's actually responsible? Who's technically responsible?
BBC.
Oh, okay. Well, people, you get to see how the sausage is made. Oh, I actually finished this. Oh, good on me. Good on me. I was actually prepared for this. So, yeah. So what, you just want to go in with our respective orgs, or
I'll go in with you guys.
Okay.
Saves me a little bit of hassle.
Okay, that's fine. I don't have a problem inviting you. I mean, I know I have to wait until he's invite, but we can sit here together and show, some sort of unity. I don't know I don't know what it is, but considering we're like, should be throwing fists.
I think this is the type of rivalry that I enjoy in IGL. We're very tough competitors when we play each other, but outside of that, we have a very good mutual respect for each other's orgs and the players involved in it, where it's like we're never going to cause problems, but it's always going to be a hell of a good fight when we get together.
Yeah. I definitely agree. Although I think there's the invite. Although I technically think you guys are up in the series, so to speak.
Maybe. I mean, it's close because our rivalry's still new, and us playing each other is still new. I think we have less than 10 games against each other total.
Yeah.
Not counting ones. I never count ones because ones isn't a real circuit yet, in my mind.
I don't even know if we've faced each other. Anybody in ones. I know I haven't.
I don't know.
I don't know, but again, I guess I'm finally past a circuit. We're in 2 circuits now.
Yeah. It's ones. Like I said, I'm not going to count the one circuit until probably circuit 4 or 5 when it all gets ironed out.
Yeah.
But yeah, anytime we come against you, we played Vicins and what was that, the Scarlet Scorpions last circuit, and they were nothing but the nicest people the entire we played really, really hard. It was a great time, but then afterwards, the nicest stuff. And that's what I love. Not those orgs that we have the rivalries with, where it's I'm never going to talk to you, and this is bad blood. This is family blood. Thanksgiving, you're going outside and playing some football out in the yard for bragging rights for the rest of the day.
Yep. What is going on here?
I don't know. Leave? Oh, okay.
Okay, we'll leave. Oh, already, this is working. He probably mistyped the password.
Just, dude, I do that so much when I'm making one. Like, I'll remake the lobby 3 or 4 times and just retype it to make sure I have it right. And then I'll still end up messing it up sometimes.
Yeah, well, actually, my problem is I'll like, well, I say create. I'll get to the last step. I'll type everything, and then I switch over to Discord and message it, and then I stare at it, and it's like, oh wait, I have to retype all this info in anyways because Alt-Tab.
Yep. So Dilly is gonna play tonight. At least start, because I know I was talking to him the other day. I wasn't gonna say anything beforehand, but I know because he's been in a slump. He didn't know if he was gonna play or not.
I mean, I'm gonna be fair about this. He always says that. Like,
True.
You know, I think his biggest problem is he's in his head way too much. You know, I actually like, you know, there was always time to think. But I think he actually needs to just think less and do. And I feel that, you know, that'll help him a little bit. Because he's got some good instincts.
I always feel like I play Rocket League the best when I'm slightly tired or slightly drunk. Because I'm not thinking and I'm just letting everything play out.
Yeah, the whole instinct, muscle memory, just let all that kick in. Wow.
Oh, that post, though.
Kickman, I don't know if we can have a crossover clangers, but I'm all open for it.
Dude, you missed some stuff. We had Shuriken and Wesp and then Shuriken play on my stream earlier, and crossbars and posts were everyone's best friend for 7 games. It was ridiculous.
Well, maybe we can for the Clangers Hall of Fame. Maybe we can we'll accept the crossover stuff. We can put that on the entrance monitors.
No, it's that one crossover every once in a while that works out well.
Yeah. Oh, I'm all for collaborative efforts.
Oh man, you should have seen our match yesterday. I couldn't hit a shot to save my life. I'm probably 0 for 32 in my last 2 IGL matches. It has been ridiculously terrible.
Oh man, I feel you there.
Unfortunate own goal there. I think Moxie missed this, and Nerve just accidentally drove into it. It's rough when that's the first one to start out a match.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to East, you know, they kind of had the pressure there, at least for 45 seconds.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I got to see Nerve play the other week, and he's really good. He's really quick, and I'm kind of hoping he rallies here and leads Red Bulls to kind of break this offensive pressure, because it definitely seems like he's had the most experience at this level of gameplay. Nothing against anybody else on the team, just from my experience with him. I think Nerve's been 1600 plus for a while.
Yeah, I think 2 seasons ago with Big Top. Yeah, Big Top. Yeah, I think he got like ridiculous in the middle of the actual IGL season. It was at least 1700, like coming into the playoffs. Yeah. And like he kind of performed, you know, because they went up against the Red Bulls. He kind of performed lights out, you know, despite, you know, game plan was, well, we got to try and shut Nerve down.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, when again, I think we talked about yeah, I think we broadcast last week's match. We talked about Red Bull's brought him on board because he was looking for a team, and aside from on-field, the on-field play, he's been helping.
Well, he gets one back with almost an own goal of their own.
So is this a missed touch? Yep.
Yeah. I don't think Cake was expecting Sarge to miss there. And so he started to push up, and it just booped right on top of him. But, yeah, and you kind of need that experience because, I mean, Sarge has peaked at 1850-something in twos, and he's over 1,800 in threes. Moxie is an 1,800 player in twos, I think high 17s in threes. And then I don't know where Cake Man's at, I'm not going to lie.
Well, he's at least 1,600 because
Right.
IGL says tier 1 and up.
Yeah. I want to make a meme team that's all like tier 2 players playing in tier 1. But to make our name to be announced, so whenever we get scheduled against somebody, they're like, "Well, it hasn't said yet. Is it a bye week?" And just get forfeits every week.
I mean, that's probably gonna. That's probably
stuff that would happen.
Yeah. Like, I'm trying not to say anything bad about IGL, the league, but I've seen enough chat to. That team was probably getting at least 1 week. Oh, nice read there from Sarge.
We are voting for Shuriken. What was the one I read the other day? Like, IGL general chat, for anyone in and watching the stream who doesn't read it, honestly, one of the best things you can do with your day is just catch some of the random stuff happening in there. But this dude got banned on his main account on Rocket League. And so he created a whole new IGL profile, added himself to his team to add in his alt account so he could play that week. And I'm just like, what? Why? Instead of just adding the tracker to his page. And it was like a 45-minute conversation to get his other account deleted so he could add his tracker to his main page. And I'm just like, you can't write this stuff. Like, honestly. Oh, what a banger from Sarge, hitting crossbar.
Well, they may be leading in iron, but they are happening to winning. I can words. And what banger from Cake Man to end game 1.
Great pass from Sarge there. Threading the needle. Squirrel just couldn't get to it. But I think this was that. For the Red Bulls, this is just kind of that like punch to the jaw to see what's going to happen, because East came out really, really quick in this one. They came out just dominating the offensive end and time of possession. And so it's really going to come down to how this Red Bulls team can kind of respond going into game number 2.
Yeah. I mean, right now it's just game 1, so we can only go by what's in front of us. I just feel that right now, everything's coming up for the E squad. Time of possession. I mean, you could just look at the scoreboard right here. It I know the Red Bulls can adjust. I'm just curious as always, are they going to make the right adjustments? How
quickly can they make those adjustments?
Yeah. And how bad is it going to throw off, East?
Right.
Because, that was a pretty darn good performance from Shuriken East. So game 2 kicks off. We'll see what the Red Bulls do.
Yeah, and I think this first minute's going to dictate a lot here. Dilly gets a nice goal there. It's a nice little touch.
Yeah, that's what we want to see out of Dill.
And so now it's going to be how do Red Bulls play with a lead here, and what's East going to do now that they're down? Oh, Dilly. Unfortunate. Dilly had the open net there, had a great opportunity, and just flew past it.
What? Man. That's like,
I 100%
what?
Nerve was getting the clip.
Yeah, I was like, what an attempt by Nerve. And what an even bigger save by Cakeman.
And Dilly with the second of this one. You know, that's something I think we need to see more of in IGL's Play of the Weeks, are saves. Like, we don't see any saves ever. A little friendly banter going on there in chat.
Well, I mean, I can definitely do it. It's really hard, I've noticed, with at least, GYG to get to clip your save. Because you don't have that nice little break.
Right.
But, yeah. Exclamation point, remind me after match. Because if someone doesn't do it, I will.
And
what?
Squirrel with the banger. Oh, Dilly. For those who don't know Sarge, he is one of the least toxic people you will ever know. So if he ever says anything, it's 100% a joke.
Yeah.
He is the most chill, like 18, almost 1900 I've ever met.
He might want to, just as a recommendation, he might want to put a /S. Yeah, or JK. Just for people who don't know or were playing him the first time. Although I'm in favor of anything that just, confuses the heck out of our leader. So
that is 100% fair. And so Red Bull's doing a really good job jumping on top of East here and not really letting up any of the pressure.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the one thing I do have a concern about, it's still kind of early. Oh, Nerve just misses. Because I'm a believer in, that whole, well, it took you half the game to score. So we can do the same.
Still have the other half to do the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm that believer too. I'm like 2.5 minutes left, down 4. They scored 4. We can do that.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, I definitely like to.
And I think that's the mentality you need to keep all the way through this.
Yeah. I mean, I think right now Red Bulls are just, and there's a miss. So speaking of possible openings.
Yeah, a bad double commit coming out from the Red Bulls there. Unfortunate. Squirrel and Nerve both going up for that one.
I wouldn't say
that's the thing with tier 1. You don't want to give them that small opening.
Yeah. And I'm just going to say, I'm pretty sure it may not be the easiest goal he has, because I'm sure Sarge just put many away like that, but you just never want to give your opponents free goals.
Yeah. Especially after you've been having such good pressure and really, really good offensive touches. That can almost be a momentum killer, much like a kickoff goal. Like, I think kickoff goals are the biggest killers of teams out there.
I would have to agree, because it's like, you watch the kickoff goal, especially, I mean, it's one thing if it's just like, beat on the kickoff and one thing, but if it also includes like some stupid bad kickoff, you flip and, end up on the wall or something. which I have actually seen before. It's like, your teammates just kind of look at you. That's just like, I don't believe this. All you had to do was drive into the ball.
Right. Well, even like the kickoffs that.
Oh,
Another goal. Moxie gets credit for that. What?
I think that hit off Moxie.
Off Moxie first?
Oh no, that's no.
It did. Wow.
Yeah, but that's.
It went off. That's tough. That's absolutely tough.
I don't know. That's heads up play though by Moxie. Like.
Yeah.
Like again, it will count as an own goal, but like that's heads up play by Moxie just to get in position, even to have that happen. Like.
Yeah, I mean, it was going to be wide. In all honesty, like that shot was going wide for sure. If Moxie doesn't get the touch on that and send it back towards Nerve.
So. Oh wow! Speaking of 2 up again.
Yeah, it's almost like they're starting to panic just a little bit. And that's kind of, I mean, what happens with this East team is they get a couple goals like that and other teams start to panic a little bit because you see them starting to build that pressure, even though it looks like Red Bulls are going to be able to take this one. But, good job for the Red Bulls being able to hold on to this one, but in all honesty, the momentum swing definitely seems like it's going East's direction here.
Yeah, I mean, basically from the goal on, it was, Shuriken's first goal here. It was, again, it was East. I'm not sure if the Red Bulls decide to let up or not. Or, again, kudos on East for figuring everything out. Because that, they'll definitely make this series even more interesting. Because right now, I mean, fortunately, Red Bulls, they got that first half of game 2. But if East, puts the screws down again, this could be a long game 3.
Is Dilly using Motor Mouth?
Oh yeah, like I'm sure he's using Motor Mouth, and I'm sure he's using the Toxical Explosion. I mean Nuke.
He was.
Yeah.
He was. Oh, the tactical nuke, not the toxic nuke.
No, it's toxic.
Yeah, 100%. There's a few things I don't like in this game. The cat boost. Update the series score.
Oh.
Thanks for sins.
Apologies.
The cat engine noise.
Yeah, that's pretty horrible.
The Weed Eater. The helicopter. Those are probably my 3 least favorite things in this game. None of those should exist in Rocket League.
Yeah, probably.
I personally don't mind Motor Mouth. I think it's kind of clever, but
yeah, I actually would use it, but I don't actually like the turbo shutoff for some reason.
Yeah,
I have no idea why.
We're starting to see Red Bulls making some awkward touches here when East starting to push out of their own half. Nice read from Squirrel there, though.
Whoa!
What a shot from Dilly.
Sarge just couldn't get up for that one either. That's a good touch by Nerve.
Yeah. It looked like he was playing Nerve's touch if Nerve was going to be able to get up again. And Dilly just came flying out of nowhere. Very aggressive play. It paid off, and gets a top cheddar bar down ski.
So we were talking there at the end of game 2 about kickoff goals.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens on the blue side, but
we've still got 3.5 minutes left here. and they were starting to mount a lot of pressure, and so. Oh, what a save from Squirrel there. I didn't know if he's gonna be able to get back in time.
Yeah, that was a pretty good save. Ooh, good save from Sarge there too.
Sarge rocking a halo? He is. Nice touch out there. See what Nerve does with this. I'm really interested why Squirrel went for that one. He was coming from the backside. What a shot from Sarge. I think a lot of this spawns from Squirrel challenging that in the offensive zone. Coming from the backside, trying to fly up for it. Left him to rotate ball side and left him without a defender there to help out. To help out Nerve.
Yeah, I sort of been seeing Squirrel do that a couple times already this game. Oh, Sarge just misses.
Yeah, that's what they needed in this one, but... And again, that was Squirrel kind of caught back there. Squirrel demo hunting now. For me, I think what it is the play style of the Red Bulls. It's very all over the place. Not in a bad way, like in a hurricane kind of way.
Controlled
They're
chaos.
hyper aggressive. Yeah.
That's a good touch from Nerve.
Nerve almost got another own goal there. Sarge tried to bait him into it. Good touch from him.
Ooh.
What a save. I didn't think he's going to be able to recover for that one.
Yeah, that was
Squirrel making some mistakes, but I mean, helping them out when they need it.
I mean, as someone who hasn't necessarily figured the squad out, you know, that just, I don't know, maybe that's part of the package with Squirrel. Again, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's just something, you know, something as a team you have to work with.
Yeah. Nice pre-flip save there from Cake Man.
Oh, Moxie pushed that a little too wide.
Yep.
Because that was...
And the Red Bulls move on to match point. A couple incredible saves there from Squirrel. Like, those two saves he had were the difference in that one.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the Red Bulls stole this one.
Yeah.
Again, nothing against the Red Bulls. I just, you know, I don't know what kind of matchup this is. I don't know. The post right now might be the sneaky fourth man for the Red Bulls. Because I know Sarge just rang one off the crossbar. I think at the midpoint there.
Yeah. He rang one, Moxie rang one, and Cake all rang one in like the span of 30 seconds.
The wet toast. Wanting the East win. I mean, from what I've seen here, that is completely doable. I don't know. Again, Well, I mean, we know, especially when Red Bulls do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's maybe Squirrel was trying to push out through the corner. Instead, rang it off the side.
Yeah. I mean, tough touch there either way. Teammates out of position, not able to rotate back.
There's
And
two
a
up
double
again.
commit coming out from Red Bulls, but Moxie and Sarge can't get the turn on it. And that's the other thing. They need to start punishing these double commits if East wants to come back into this one. What a shot from Nerve. Just getting it over the top.
Yeah, and it kind of started with that bad touch from Moxie, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, Sarge almost getting that redirect. Rule 1.
So we got the two new decal NRG cars backed up against each other.
Which is super clean. I like this decal way better than the original.
Yeah, I could see that. I preferred the old one, but I don't know.
I prefer the clean look of the new one, and I think that's the biggest thing for me. I felt like the old one was very busy.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess
Not
if
that
you've
it's a
seen my
bad
cars,
decal by any means.
yeah, I guess if you've seen my cars, you shouldn't be surprised at me preferring the old one.
Yeah. Respect right there.
Sorry, I'm really bad on the overlay when I have someone in the booth with me.
It's my fault. I'm distracting.
I missed the second rule 1.
I think they locked right at the end.
Ah, okay. So I guess then because this was briefly a 1v1, this series doesn't count in the org standings.
Yeah, I mean, technically it was a 1v1, so in my mind it's still 1-1, and OT no balls definitely needs to be called here. But, I mean, in all honesty, for the Red Bulls, having Sarge locked up with Squirrel was probably the best Rule 1 they could have gotten in that situation.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Squirrel's not a good player, but, I mean, so far he has not been the strongest one for the teams.
Yeah, Dilly's been kind of popping off.
And to lock up against Sarge is... What a save by Sarge. Is exactly what they needed there. I mean... I ain't gonna lie, there's been times that I know there's a player way better than anyone on my team that I've locked up. What a shot from Nerve here. Cake missing that double and Moxie out of position. Unfortunate.
So 2 of 6 left here in game 4. East knows what they need to do here.
Yeah, and they're just not getting the touches right now. Moxie missing an easy one up along sidewall. Sarge missing one that he normally reads all day. Thought that pitch was going to go in there.
Again, there were 2 up for the Red Bulls.
Again, another 2 up. Dilly just missing the inside of the goal there. What a save by Dilly there. Or is that Nerve?
I think the whole team was involved.
Cake missing that touch as well. Yeah, East is just missing touches right now. Good touch there. I think that was from Dilly. So final minute here. East is going to need to do something. They're getting shots towards net. Just they're not playing like normal, I guess would be the best way to say it. Not taking anything away from Red Bulls, but this is probably one of the sloppiest East performances I've seen since week 1.
Oh, that's a good heads-up play there.
Savage.
I think Sarge got the demo there too.
Yeah, he got the demo on Squirrel to open it up. I'm still a believer of this should be 2-2 and OT no balls because 1v1s don't count. You know, just caster bias because I want to see a game 5. I want a 5-game series with you guys at some point in time. Selfishly.
I mean, neutral. I'm not against a game 5. I mean, obviously putting my org hat on, I don't want to see a game 5, but I don't think we're not gonna get it. One of these days we will.
One day. But yeah, and you know, I was like HJ said in the chat, I mean, that was the most off I've seen East play in a very long time.
Do you think it was just a matchup? Just like, you know, clash of styles perhaps?
I mean, I saw it a lot out of Sarge and Moxie earlier in 2s. They've been moving back to school and stuff like that, and so they haven't been putting in the grind that they normally do.
Okay.
And I was hoping, yeah, and Sarge has been playing Minecraft all week in his off time, and so I think some of it's to be attributed to that. But I mean, at the same point, BBC, if they've been practicing all week and put in the work, like, there's nothing you can really say about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they'd been practicing and putting in the work all week and another team hasn't, could cause them to come out looking flat there.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to, you know, I'm always asking, you know, playing devil's advocate or whatever for, you know, for my side, but like I just always see is that, you know, like I feel that this matchup was also still winnable for East because, you know, I just see all the double commits. I see just sort of the bad rotations on the Red Bull side, and you know, and I just wonder, it's just like, where's the punishment? And is it just, you know, East also just wasn't expecting that, wasn't expecting just, you know, some, you know, super aggressive, breaking from the norm, you know, type style on the other side of the field too. You know, I just have to ask that sometimes too.
Yeah. I just think it was a combination of pretty much everything is really what it comes down to. And, you know, Dilly and company just playing a different play style than a lot of people see at Tier 1 and doing it extremely well. But like you said, I mean, or like we said with East just looked off. They were missing a lot of shots, a lot of open nets with double commits from Red Bulls that normally would be punished. And so I don't know, if this match was last week, we might be in game 5 right now, but kudos to Red Bulls for playing extremely well.
Yeah, I mean, you know, again, as much as I crap on them, I mean, you know, they got the result here. You know, I hope they don't let off the gas. You know, I hope they, you know, still show up again. You know, if they play this hard and get beat, you know, kudos. You know, kudos. You know, you gave it your best shot. I just, every week I go in and just like, I'm hoping it's just like, okay, are they still going to continue this? And it's just, they're not going to laugh. You know, lapse into their old ways.
I mean, they could get the standard playoff curse.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if they,
Not to
they
put
may.
that juju on them, but I mean that starts creeping into your mind now too. Like I've learned my lesson. If I'm 5-0, I'm throwing week 6, 100%. I'm not going into playoffs 6-0. And I think the other hard part for Red Bulls is they're gonna have a week off.
Yeah, that's true. And that just always, yeah, that seems to be weird. I think we had. Did we have someone? I think we had someone off. I mean, we should ignore the spring anyways because I think like all our teams lost in round one. But I think we have. I think one of the teams that lost just kind of looked a little slow, just because they basically had a forfeit win in week 6, and kind of looked a little sluggish. So yeah, we'll have to we'll have to see what the Red Bulls do going forward. I mean they've got 4 now or whatever 5 what they have some amount of wins and they've clinched playoffs. So we'll have to see if they're gonna play Secret Mafia so they can get a loss, or I would just tell them to keep the pedal to the metal and not worry about no playoff curse. Like everything from here on out is gravy.
Yeah.
Like just see how far you can go, because you've put on a really good season so far. And on the other side, I do hope East wins their next 2 so they can qualify for the playoffs. Because, this week aside, I mean, even then, like, I was, just sometimes it just doesn't go your way either. But, like, I like what I saw, from Shuriken East. Just sometimes you just get a little unlucky with just, like, placement. Sometimes you're just a tad bit off. Because, as you said, they just missed everything this week when normally they've been putting it away. So I think they look good, and I would love to see them in the playoffs. I'd be scared to death if they end up on the Red Bull side of the bracket. Because they know each other now. But again, and I'm not just saying this because, hey, we're buddies with Shuriken, but, I think East looks really good, and, it's just, unfortunate to the slight, just getting the chemistry set and everything. But, they have nothing to be ashamed of either. So.
Yeah. And I think if, like I said, I 100% believe we're in game 5 if East had the playtime that they normally do. And I mean, that speaks volumes to what it actually takes to win at these levels, is playing together. And having to move back to school, everything kind of coming back from this pandemic we were having and everything, it's throwing a lot of people off, which I will wholeheartedly take advantage of during IGL and ranked sessions. But now that they have some more time, hopefully they can get back to focus, come back really, really strong in the next 2 weeks, make playoffs, and I can watch that playoff run. But I knew something was off when I watched the twos match. I mean, you've watched matches before when you just know that it's not what it is. And
So I'm, I also wholeheartedly say is I'm trusting your eyes here too. So if you say that they're, as you say is, if they're off, then, then they were off. Which again, that should be in a way kind of a warning, because, I still thought they played relatively good, and, Had they put just a little bit more time in. Again, S happens, but you know, we could be looking at Game 5. We could also be looking at something even more ridiculous too, like done in 4 for East.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
guess we'll have to wait till the playoffs to see.
Yeah, I'm kind of afraid of that, but
I guess definitely think that's gonna be a wake up call for them, and they'll run out the next 2 weeks and make playoffs.
Well, that's good. Yeah, as much as I would dread it, I would love to co-cast the rematch. Hopefully, they end up on other sides of the bracket. It's like the finals or something.
Oh man, I don't think I could handle 7 games of this. I don't think I could. I can barely handle 5-game series with our teams involved.
I agree, man. I could barely handle 5 games when it's just 1.
Right. But I mean, if we take a look at Tier 1 Div 2,
we'll do the old switch over.
Had the chance. 4 and 2 has a really good chance of making playoffs.
Yeah, I always kind of feel that it's 4 and 2 should get you in, and then it's just there might be 1 3 and 3. Again, I'm not.
It really depends on how the conferences break up.
Yeah, I fully admit tournament math is not my strong suit. I was terrible at it in Magic, and I'm terrible with it here.
I mean, but if you look at it right now, Shuriken East, without this match in there, is currently sitting in 7th in their conference. So they need to be 6th to get an automatic playoff spot. The teams above them are all 3 and 1 or undefeated. Really, it's going to come down to when they play Brian and Brian, probably at the end of the season. Because Brian and Brian's currently 3 and 1, 71%. And so depending on what happens next week with them, Shuriken could be playing them for a playoff spot.
Yeah. What do they have left? They have Peak.
They have
Peak and Brian and Brian.
Peak is 1 and 3 currently. So if they get 2 sweeps, they should secure the 6th spot.
Yeah.
Because they'll be just over. Yeah, if they get 2 sweeps, they'll sneak in the 6th spot.
Yeah, there might be a 3 and 3 that gets in as well. But as always, just go get those 4 wins, and you probably should not have to worry about anything.
Yeah. Yeah, which is nice, but I feel like these tiers and divisions have been way more competitive this circuit than it has been in the past. Like, even to the point where there may be 4 and 2 teams that get left out because of a weaker conference compared to another.
I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah.
I
mean, for example, my team, we need to pretty much win out and have like 3-1 wins to make playoffs and end at 4 and 2. Otherwise, I mean, if we have a couple 3-2 series, we may get dropped out at 4 and 2.
How full's your division? Is there 40 teams in it?
Yeah, it's full.
Yeah, that would I could definitely see a 4 and 2 missing there. Mine's, I think, I'm in the BBC division, obviously, and I think there's 41 in there.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I would say is the conference we're in is just an absolute tire fire.
Really?
Yeah. I would just say is that there's been a lot of forfeit matches. Like, I can't, obviously I can't speak to obviously what you guys have been experiencing in Shuriken, but I think most of our squads have at least one forfeit win.
We haven't had one yet, but there have been a lot. Our Shuriken Green team is currently 3 and 1, and they've played 1 match.
I mean,
they've played one.
I like. I mean, I'm just gonna pull this up because there's a couple of instances. So like, I think the Titans here have 2 forfeit wins. So like, yeah. Where are we at? Did this not?
You're right there.
Okay, yeah,
You're 8th.
yeah, but we have a forfeit win too. It's like these numbers look
Right.
slightly better, and then
Which is super detrimental.
Hey, coming here, this isn't a forfeit win. This is a team leaving halfway, not even halfway through, like with 3 minutes to go.
Squad left.
No.
Yeah, the team quit and they scored 24 goals.
Yeah, and it's just like, and I hate going down this road, but it's just like I don't. Maybe 3-0, 3-0, 3-0 might be the appropriate way to award forfeits, because it just seems like they're in the driver's seat now for a playoff spot, and
Yeah.
it just
and
it's hard to like. I don't know what the proper response, what the proper thing is, because it's really tough. But in a way, it's like, if you get a forfeit win, it's pretty punishing actually for your tiebreakers.
Right, because I mean, yes, it helps you in game win percentage, but the next one is, I think, goals. Your goals for, goals against averaged.
Yeah.
And when you only get 3 goals for a forfeit, like one bad week and you're kind of screwed out of it.
Yeah.
Like,
And again, like that. Hey, Red Bulls. That's kind of how the Red Bulls got into the playoffs, anyways. Is because the team left, last season in the middle of a match, and the Red Bulls hung 20 on that match. So they just got in the playoffs that way. So like, I appreciate that IGL will always struggle with that, and I don't know what the best answer is.
I think it would really depend on where the forfeit happens in the season.
Yeah.
At least for just a straight up forfeit. If it happens week 5 or week 6, I think if you take their average goals per game and take off like half. So if you're at 3.7, drop it down to 3.2, round it down, so you would get 3 goals per game for the forfeit. Because it would be safe to assume that you're going to score that many per game. So it keeps your averages about where they're at, gets you your win, and it's not as punishing to you, because technically I think what it is if a team leaves during a match, like they completely leave, the rest of it is that last game is supposed to be marked as an uncompleted game, and you get awarded 1 goal.
Yeah.
I think by the book is how that's supposed to happen. And so if I'm playing somebody and I'm 0-5 playing week 6, and if they need 4 goals per game to make playoffs, well, why not just forfeit?
Well, I could tell you from my
Why
perspective,
not just forfeit and keep them out of playoffs?
I could probably say is I would never be that way, because I guess it's just, again, this comes from my Magic background, is that I would just much rather get a result, and I hate freaking forfeiting.
Yeah, for sure.
If I was well, I mean, again, like I fully planned on going 0-6 last season in ones, regardless of the result, and I was just gonna play it out because I didn't care. I just wanted to play it. And I felt the same way this season, too. It's like, I don't care if I'm going 0-6. Like, my schedule's there. I'm going to play it out. So it's like, I would never do that, also because I don't want to get any invisible strikes against me anyways.
Yeah.
for not showing up for a match again. It just has to go with that. It's just like, yeah, I believe in just showing up. I don't care whether or not I'm going to get... I'm not even going to bail. Like, I'm just going to take my lumps, at the end, say, GG's, well-deserved. You kicked this now at me. You obviously deserve to win that, and just, move on to the next week or whatever. Again, I am approaching this probably completely different, because I'm freaking 44.
I'm the same way, though. Like, if I would go to a Magic qualifier event or even Friday Night Magic and I start out 0-2, yeah, it'd be easy for me to just drop and go do something else, but I'm going to finish out my last couple matches because, that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I wish I had that dedication in Magic, but I got so tilted.
I did a lot of standards, so it wasn't that, so there's only 4 decks being played anyway.
Yeah.
Kind of annoying.
Yeah, like, in all seriousness, like I had in Magic, I know part of it was my playing, but there was also a lot of times, and my store can attest to this, where I just like sit there and I'd be like, well, I like, kept this 2-lander on the draw, because
you punish yourself.
But like
you keep 2 lands running Grixis control, and you're like, yeah, this will be fine. I'll draw one.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't do that, but like, like I just like I make like yeah, it's slightly risky, but this is like kind of like where I have to kind of just like it's a good in the dark keep, and I just get punished. Like the store can attest also to like I literally had 7 no land. 6 no land, 5 no land, 4 all land, and I drew 6 land off the top. This was, back in cons. So, before all the mulligan changes.
Yeah.
So it's just like...
by the way, the new mulligan change is phenomenal.
Yeah.
One of the best things they could have done. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I agree with this. I'm looking at just like... Yeah, that might have gotten me back, but like, I'm still freaking tilt monster in Magic, even though I shouldn't be, but I am, which is kind of like why I quit. It's just like I just can't I get way too mad at some RNG aspects. That's also why I don't play Rumble.
I went through like 3 months of just not being able to win anything, and I haven't picked it back up since. Like. And I was running Black White Knights, and it was a phenomenal deck. It was a very, very good deck, but my RNG was just terrible, absolutely terrible. 3 months straight, I had the strongest deck. Like when I had just even average RNG, like absolutely normal, I was crushing FNM. And then I just couldn't draw. I couldn't draw lands to save my life. And I'm sitting there with a handful of just bombs ready to go off. And I'm sitting there on 2 lands for 10 turns.
I can tell you what it did for me. It was in 2018. And I say the script had finally flipped. It just, it got bad luck transferred to a teammate. GP Toronto and GP Denver. These were both team GPs. Toronto was like in May. By the way, Toronto was an awesome city to visit. It was team constructed, so standard, modern, legacy. By the way, I hadn't played standard in 6 months prior to that, I think. So I just played the standard deck because both my teammates had a modern and legacy deck that they wanted to play.
And I can't afford a legacy deck, so...
Yeah, well, I mean, we could have put something together. Like, these were like the 3 people, like, it was my roommate, a good friend of ours, and myself, so like, technically the people with the most cards. Also the people who, well, technically I probably couldn't afford to travel, but I always make it work. And I literally watched, we played 5 rounds. I know it's a team event, so like me saying that I went like 4-1, but like I just came out firing and just crushed it. And then I look over to my left, and just see my teammates just their decks just crapping all over them. Mm-hmm. And then we went to Denver, which was what was in 2018? I guess that was Ravnica. So whatever guilds.
Yes, that was.
Yeah, Guilds of Ravnica.
3 years ago.
God.
Was it Guilds?
Yeah, it was the Ravnica. Yeah, it was the Ravnica set, I think. Right?
That was because it was 16 was Innistrad. Shadows over Innistrad.
Yeah, and then came Mom and Cat.
No,
was it Ixalan?
No, Ixalan was more recent. No, Ixalan would have been 18.
Yeah. Okay. So
that's when they switched to the new block format.
Yeah. Okay.
Was right around Ixalan.
Okay. So yeah, it would be because Ixalan then Ravnica because there's Ixalan, second set Ixalan Dominaria. Okay. Yeah. Same thing happened in Denver. Like we played 5 rounds. I didn't even have the best deck, but I kind of had the deck that worked for me. And I just watch my teammates just get crapped on, and it's usually me who's just struggling. It's just all we needed was a win from Ander, and we'd be in there. It's just I can't win for the life of me, and it finally flipped in Denver. It's just I just watch my teammates struggle. I'm just why am I doing this? I love coming out to these GPs, but then it's just I watch my teammates get crapped on. Or they get to watch me getting crapped on. And it's just I think right then and there, I just I showed up for a little bit, but I think I was done. Yeah, I think I was done by the end of the Ravnica block. Maybe it was Ravnica. I don't remember.
But I mean, let's be honest though. Team Constructed's fucking garbage.
No, Team Construct. Yeah, Team Construct is. I don't mind the standard, modern. Legacy one because that's interesting. We've also done Team Unified, and boy, is that a steaming pile.
If they got rid of Legacy and put something else in with Modern and Standard, I think it would be better. But Legacy is such a shit show. It really just depends on who goes first.
Yeah,
it's a 1-2 format, and 1 or 2 turn format, and that is absolute garbage.
Yeah, I kind of agree and I kind of don't because I've seen my share, but it's also just the cost of entry too. Again, that's why we went to Toronto is because we had, my roommate who played the Legacy deck had a Legacy deck put together, and had the cards for it, and all that BS. But yeah, I've played Team Unified Modern, and boy, is that it. You get to make interesting deck choices, but it was still robots. God, what did we play? We played robots, Infect. And then whatever you could match up from, red, white, and whatever was left over from the secondary color for Infect. But, I got shit on too. Did you know did you know in 5 rounds of playing Affinity, counting mulligans, I drew 3 cranial planings, and no arcbound ravagers.
That's how it goes, though.
Yeah. By the way, again, I could say this because Tank knows what I'm talking about. By the way, those 3 platings came in Game 2 against my blue-white control opponent after they had sideboarded in Stony Silence.
Oh, yeah, you were already done at that point.
Yeah, I was already done. I just played it. Was just I told him, I haven't played cranial plating all day. I'm just going to play it in your stuff.
There's nothing worse than when you draw that card 4 turns too late.
Yeah, I was just this would have been good 3 turns ago. At least it would have been on something. Nope. So, yeah, that was in 2017 in San Antonio. That's another great city to visit. But yeah, we all got,
San Antonio's a blast.
yeah, we all got dumpstered there. I think we went a combined 8-1 across 2 teams. So yeah.
I still think the worst deck when I was playing in Standard was that mono red one during the Amonkhet block with Glorybringer, Hazaret, and Bomat Carrier. That shit was garbage and won everything. And that should have been banned so long ago. I was so mad during that.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. My opinion is
Glorybringer is still one of the best cards out there.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think that the tire fire for Standard was during the 18-month block rotation. So because they wouldn't print like answers because 18 months, they hey, I played Green White Gideon because that was the best deck.
Like everyone else.
Yeah.
Did.
Yeah. Well, after whatever, what was it? What was that stupid deck? After Rally finally rotated out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I played that deck, but that whole time frame, was just all bad R&D decisions, and of course I crapped over Wizards because they're like, oh, we're going back to 24 because Standard's down. It's like, no, Standard's down because you made some dumb R&D decisions and wouldn't print 8 answers and push some cards way too much, and people got tired of the same thing.
Standard's about to become a dumpster fire because they're reprinting Ugin. Like, why? Why are you putting that back into Standard?
Well, I mean, if 16 land red becomes viable again, that was another. So many 16 land red decks.
The Spirit Dragon in fucking Core Set 2021. Like, why does anyone think that's a good idea?
If only they had a play design team or play test team. Man, now, fucking Modern is going to be even more full of Ugin than it ever was before because people are going to be able to get it easily. Yeah.
Oh, it's so annoying.
Well, hey,
I'm a little frustrated by Standard right now. It's about to become absolutely terrible. At least right now, there's some variety. Sorry, I could talk about Magic all day. Yeah, I could relive just some of the nightmares. Look, I'll just say is that I played Blue White. I also played Blue White Sphinx's Revelation during that time. It's a fun deck.
No, fun deck. Sure, yeah. Well, I played Quicken in the deck, so I like going. Mono green. Oh, okay. Hold on. On your attack during attacks, on your attack step, Quicken Supreme Verdict. We good here? We good here? I don't care about your Mistcutter Hider. He's in the graveyard. Oh, I tilted
that mono blue thing in the ice deck. Talk about tilting, kids. Oh man, that deck was so dirty. Yeah, you just load your hand up with 1 and 2 cost counters and instants and get a thing in the ice on the board. So after 4, it flips and puts all their permanents back. Oh man, so much fun. Better than a board wipe. Yeah. Oh, it was so fun. I don't know. That Sphinx's Revelation deck was awful though. It was bad for Magic. That whole Standard was bad though too. So but there was a lot of things that were bad. They were bad for Magic, I think. The biggest problem I have with Magic and even with Standard is just the cost. To get a competitive deck, I just pulled it up for the first time in a while. It's probably $250. Minimum deck right here for the SCG Tour Online number 5 The cheapest one is $200, with the most expensive one being over $600, and that's like deck after deck.
Yeah, that's another reason. That's the other reason why I quit is cost. I just like.
I take it back. Mono white aggro's in there for $57. Talk about budget.
I mean, sure. I guess mono white.
But I mean, you don't.
Mono white aggro is viable.
It saves you lands. I mean, that's really the big thing. Is
yeah. Well,
like right here, you need 4 breeding pools for this, and that's $100. Like, ugh. Good job reprinting it and lowering the price, said nobody.
Well, I mean, it's just, look, they have to reprint it enough times in master sets like they did for Tarmogoyf, and it'll eventually just fall to the floor. But
there are certain.
Oh wait, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. They just need to keep printing broken cards, and Tarmogoyf's price will tank because no one plays it anymore.
Right, because everyone has an answer to it now.
Yeah.
But hey, let's bring back Jace, because that was a really good idea.
Jason Modern. I actually contend that Jason Mind Sculptor is too slow for Modern. Because even though it's a turn 4 format, it's not. That's another thing I give Wizards shit for. They always said Modern was a turn 4 format, and
no, it's never going to be a turn 4 format.
Well, no, because you can kill much quicker than turn 4.
Right.
And I got mad.
Modern's a
turn 2, turn 3.
A 3-turn format, hands down. Yeah.
And I got mad when they nerfed Storm because that was the only thing that they ever took aim at. But hey, this is. Yeah, I used to be a Storm player.
Dude, I love Storm.
I did too.
Storm players require a lot of intelligence.
Yeah.
Like, you have to work that masterfully.
Yeah. I was actually fairly good. I mean, I'm not going to say like GP level, but like locally, like I finally like, got fairly decent at it. The problem was it was never any good. Like the one time it did was like back when I was learning, it was just like much easier to sleeve up Tron. And it turned out like Storm put like 4 decks in the top 8 in that GP, but hey, what did I know?
I 100% play Mono Red Tron because that deck is so much fun.
Yeah, fuck Tron players.
Look, there is nothing like Bane firing your opponent for 90.
Oh no! Hey, that's my secret.
It's a fun day.
That's my secret tech in Storm after a while. Because it took away all the other fun things, so I'll just put Banefire in there.
Right.
Yeah, counter this.
I don't understand why they haven't brought Splinter Twin back in Modern. It wasn't an issue.
Because
it was only an issue because people thought it was as good as it was, and the meta didn't catch up to it quick enough.
I know why the reason is because it's turn 3 I'm tapped out. Oh, Pestermite, Splinter Twin? Okay. Like, which again I think
like
is complete.
Every other deck.
Yeah, but it was always. It is the same reason why Bloodbraid was banned for Deathrite Shaman sins. Like, they banned the wrong card from Jund like 3 times before they finally got Deathrite Shaman. So it's like, yeah. Like, and then they just like, oh, well, Splinter Twin is the last of our boogeyman, so let's just get rid of it. And it's like, no, Splinter Twins is sort of like what keeps Modern fair at a semi-turn 4 format. Like, Splinter Twin was, I mean, this is like, I'm gonna have to like label this as like, impromptu magic talk, but this is hey,
but yeah,
this is what we sign up for when we bring Tank on, is random bullshit like this.
That's true.
Like,
that is
deal with it.
True.
Deal
you
with
knew
it.
What you were getting into.
Yeah. Like we talked some Rocket League. We're off on our tangent. Leave us alone.
I love how they nerf I love how they nerf Jund into the ground and then give him assassin's trophy. Like, what? Why?
Which
Why
actually
make a
isn't
more control base?
yeah, which isn't actually like the end of the world. It's like almost completely fair. But
Almost.
yeah, but
Almost.
again, but I mean again, compared to all the other broken shit they're printing, it's just like again, and I would say in like, to be fair, like back when I was playing, like I wasn't mad at Wizards for, dig through time and treasure cruise, because like sometimes you just have to do that. Like you have to see if there's yeah, but I mean hey, I did play that red white or that red blue deck in modern. Surprisingly, I got dumpstered because I couldn't draw my fucking cards. So frustrating. I play like one of the best decks in modern to come along, and I just still can't fucking draw. That's like for Wizards, like for Waz, it's like, okay, yeah, like we know that Delve is probably going to be broken because it violates one of the rules of broken cards in Magic, is fucks around with the graveyard, and it cheats on mana. It's like cheats on mana, fast mana. God, what was the other one? It's fast mana or fast mana / makes mana like rituals. Cheats on mana, so alternate casting cards. There was another one. Ridiculously overpowered for its cost. So we're looking at creatures, and the fourth one is messes around with the graveyard. And if you hit like 2 of those, then you probably got a broken card in your hands. But it's like, okay, sure, you have to do that. But Dig Through Time and Treasure Cruise were fine in Standard. Because they fucking printed Siege Rhino because they flipped an Afenza in Siege Rhino. Oh my fucking god, that story makes me so angry. It's like, oh, okay, we'll just... Yeah, the fucking 2 years of goddamn Abzan because of fucking Siege Rhino.
Siege Rhino's such a good card still. I don't care what anyone says.
That was, though, I will say that was actually like the best 6 months of development as a player for me, because I played I played Jeskai.
Oh, okay.
And boy, did I get really, really good at tuning my deck against Abzan, because everyone locally played it. I would get beat by anyone else, but there was a majority of Abzan, so I'd just be like, okay, here we go. I hope I'm playing Abzan. I also could beat the Jeskai players because I played weird tech. You are also
was good for the local.
Yeah,
and that's the hard part. That's the other hard part with Magic, is with online Magic, and that's what I feel like MTGO and Arena has kind of gotten rid of the beauty of Magic with, is you tune your decks for who you're playing in your area.
Yeah.
But when you play online, you have to go with one of the best decks. You can't really do much tuning there because everyone else is playing the same decks.
Yeah, and also just like, especially like nowadays, last 3 years or whatever, it's just, the machine that exists that just, chews through, just all the reps and everything. It's just like, okay, here we are. This is what you play.
Which is one cool thing about one of the shops I played at, is they would have 2 different FNMs. They would have your standard one that, all your net deckers would come and play in, all the best decks. And then they had one where if it was over 5% of the meta, you couldn't play the deck.
Okay.
And so it really bred people using fringe decks and trying to come up with their own builds to have fun. And it really inspired a lot of creativity, and that would always get the most people playing it, because everyone wanted to see what everyone else was doing and all the different stuff out there.
Our FNM was draft, but we ran Saturday Standard. And for a while,
so.
Yeah, I love draft. And then Standard on Saturday. It's mostly because everybody like in the area ran, Standard on Friday during FNM. So it's just like,
Yeah.
okay. And I think for a while it was good just because it was like, it was still like local shop feel and everything. But like after a while, like when we started getting, some of us started getting serious about it. We kind of actually ended up just kind of like breaking the shop for standard, just because then it just became like it necessarily wasn't a bad deck. Again, like I say, like we weren't necessarily above resetting the shop with like bringing like 16 land red or whatever, just couldn't be beaten at the time. Um, and that's kind of like where I started falling out of it. It's just like because like I wanted to keep up with standard, but I couldn't afford to play the best deck. So after a while, it just you know, I actually just kind of stopped going because it's like fun playing with brews, but it's just like after a while, it's just like, well, I can't beat anything. Part of the reason why I'm here is I'm just trying to compete and like trying to get ready for like the 2 or 3 GPs I'm going to attend. And it just became
Right.
like, well, we'll just start going to limited GPs and everything. Um, but hey, bad luck. I open or get past garbage seal pools. So it's like, well, this is a quick O3 drop. Um, so yeah, I always kind of preferred draft. Um, just because in theory, like, it was all like somewhat fresh. It'd grow slightly stale towards the end. But you would still get to see like new things. Um, especially with, even if you were like, a mini boss for the shop, which is kind of like, a varied set of skills. So, I guess I'm a limited person at heart, even if I'm terrible at it too.
Yeah, I could never do limited. The only time I would do limited is on pre-release nights. And that's because I had to.
Love me some.
But I think pre-release was a ton of fun. Like, I miss that.
That's actually the one thing I kind of miss. And even if I don't, get to experience it myself, again because I open terrible pre-release packs. Like I could, like, I know it's like supposed to be fun, but like the competitive person in me wants to like finish 4-0, 5-0, and I'd be lucky to walk away 2-2. But just even like seeing the other people in the shop, when I still have the passion for Magic, just like, man, look at it's like, look at this cool card, and look at this. So that was always fun. And then on Sunday there would be a two-headed giant event, and again it would always be fun to see like me and the good friend. We would start teaming up for a while and just figuring out like how we would actually get dumpstered during it. So we always had like, and then we play the shop manager and my roommate, and it would be the worst Magic game until the next pre-release, if we ever got matched up with each other. Because if you've only seen in a two-headed giant one person playing Magic, it is a sight to behold, because that's usually what happens. Like it was just like absolutely the worst thing. And it's just like we just like look at each other, it's like, okay, who's playing Magic? This pre-release, in this matchup. It was still fun, but it's just like, oh, well, we're matched up against each other again. Okay, here we go again, like without fail. So,
Yeah.
I miss it, but I also don't miss it. And my shelf fell over.
A love-hate relationship.
Yeah, Magic is a cruel mistress. And I talked with my roommate on Friday about selling my collection, and I'll be damned if the shelving that holds like a third of my Magic collection fell over on Saturday. Like,
oh, that is a omen. You better not sell that. You'll be cursed forever.
I haven't played in 2 years. Like, if I can get $5,000 for it, I will. I don't know. I have
Yeah.
no idea how much it's worth. I haven't played in. When was the last time I played? I skipped core, so
Mine's been like 2018.
mine was the final set in Ravnica. That whole arc.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, that timed with when I started playing Rocket League a fuck ton. But I guess this. We'll clip this side conversation out if I decide to submit this to IGL.
That's how it always goes with that Thunder.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure they don't want to hear us like blathering on for wherever we're at. I mean, we're at an hour and a half, but so I would say 30 minutes.
I think it would be cool if IGL added a Magic League.
Oh, I would totally not sign up for that. I'd just be like,
it'd be
nope. It would be interesting, but I don't know.
Just like a casual one, nothing competitive. But if they did like once a week, you played somebody else, like I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
It would be an absolute toxic dumpster fire, but I'd still probably play.
Oh, well, of course it would be. I mean, I did have Arena installed, and then my hard drive quit working, so it's like, well, I'm glad I never fired that up. I was just like, I briefly thought about it. It's like, well, I'll just install Arena and see what happens. And I never fired it up, and then the hard drive failed. And I was like,
I thought about it. I booted it up, and to know I'd have to rebuild my standard collection all over again. Oh,
I mean, I haven't
that
played
was the worst part.
I haven't played Moto since Theros. I don't have like a sizable collection. I never played standard, but I draft like once or twice a week, just so I could like stay in like shop form or whatever.
There was a Russian one that came out. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. That I played pretty much all the time because you could build any deck you wanted. It had all the cards in there, and it had an online capability.
Oh, something like
That
Cockatrice.
was a ton of fun. Yeah, something kind of like that. I can't. Maybe that's what it was.
I don't know.
I can't remember, but
I know there's no Magic users at all in this Discord, and I don't even know if my Magic friends know of my Twitch. Well, and I'm not even on my personal one, but if they heard that, their ears might have perked up. And like Cockatrice was, well, again, it stopped working on the laptop that's behind me. Basically, when Diablo 3 killed it, but that's a story for another day.
yeah.
Pro tip: don't buy gaming laptops. Just buy yourself, buy yourself a rig.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine not having my rig.
Yeah.
But I am gonna head out here.
Yeah, we should.
11:30.
Yeah, we should probably. Yeah, we probably should have ended this like 45 minutes ago. But again, here we are.
We have that problem.
Yeah, we have a big problem. So tune in next time. Tank and Ender might like. What will we discuss? We might discuss what's happening in Fall Guys. We might. I don't know.
We'll do Minecraft next time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. We haven't met yet on Minecraft. We all have different ideas, but we both play it, so that could be the next discussion. I mean, mine isn't going to be too terribly deep because I'm just digging holes. But
more or less, I strip mine a lot.
Yeah, I don't strip mine, but I do various ways of trying to keep myself entertained. But again, I decided to punch 8 chunks, and I wish I hadn't challenged myself when I did the chest chunk. But here we are, and I'm on my 4th chunk, so But I had to take a week and a half off because I broke my pickaxe because I was stupid. That was, by the way, that I told Tank that story. That was off air, and I don't want this to go till midnight for him. So we'll save that. Well, you know what? Probably guaranteed. Next the TED Talk featuring Ander and Tank will be just probably 30 to 60 minutes of us just fucking bullshitting about Minecraft. So y'all have been warned. But yeah.
I got the stories. I got the stories and the frustration already building.
All right. Well, we got set. So yeah, there was a Rocket League match about 45 minutes ago. The Red Bulls did beat Shuriken East, and got to 4 or 5-0 in the season. I don't know. It's getting late, so I forgot. Unfortunately, East right now, I believe, fell to 2-2. So I'm hoping they rebound and get back into the playoffs because I would like to see us rematch, hopefully in the finals, because it should be a barn burner. But yeah, once again, I thank my co-host Tank.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always a blast. This is always a fun time.
Yep, y'all should know where to find him at this point. If not, he can
Pay
say
attention to the Discord. You can always catch me over on twitch.tv/tankard89. I'm streaming over there probably 5 days a week now.
Yeah, this guy's almost
16
like
plus matches.
This guy's almost like the hardest working man in esports.
Trying to get those pennies, man.
Gotta get those $5 from Twitch.
Yep, that's what it's all about.
All right, so again, Tank, thanks for joining me. This was, as always, a blast. Counting the BS session as well. But yeah, everyone, go to bed or go do whatever. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one.
See ya.